Hey, everybody. Look, I told you that I was going to be coming on more. And so I am here today. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit real quickly about giving yourself grace. Look, so I'm here and I want to tag a few people as I go in, um, as I have this conversation, uh, as I move forward. So, giving yourself grace is very important for all of us. Look, we work on giving others grace. We work on being better people, being nicer to others. But the question is, have we worked on being nicer to us? Uh, and it's one of those things that we don't generally think about. We don't generally think about it much when it comes to us. We will really work hard to be good to others. Like, how many of us have worked on when I go out how I want to present? Like, I want to make sure I'm presenting as friendly. I want to make sure that I'm presenting as kind. I want to make sure that I am just being that good person. But when it comes to us, we're not as good to us. We're not as good to us. We're not as kind to ourselves. And why aren't we as kind to ourselves? Because we don't know many times who we are. And the question that I raised today for all of us is, who are you? If you're a part of my Life Happens group, we had a conversation about that this morning. Who are you? Because when you know who you are and you trust who you are and you love who you are, you begin to treat you better. It's not based on what other people say. It's not based on what other people do. It's based on how I feel about me. So the question is, how do you feel about you today? Um, I'm writing a book right now, and in one of the excerpts in the book talks about who are you? You know, it says we often talk about giving ourselves grace, but before we can fully embrace that, we need to ask the question, who are you? Because what happens is when you don't know who you are, then you begin to give others what you think you may deserve, but you don't think you actually deserve it. Isn't it amazing how our minds will go towards other people, know that they need something, want to give them this grace, want to give them this extra understanding, but won't give it to ourselves? We really, really need to begin to look into, who am I? You know, let's take this opportunity today to begin to write down who we are. Like, just journal it, write it on some paper, journal it in your journal or in the book that you write in. You might not call it a journal. You might say, I'm just writing in this book. But start to go into your book and write the question, who am I? And then begin to put down who you believe you are, because that is very important. Who do you believe you are, right? Are you kind? Are you smart? You know, are you important? When we look at the help, we see Viola Davis tell the young little girl that, you know, you're kind, you're important, you're smart. Those are the type of things. You begin to build yourself up as who you are, because what happens is when we begin to understand who we are, we begin to understand whose we are, then we begin to understand where we're going. A lot of times we don't know where we're going because we don't know who we are. So, how can I give myself grace when I'm just lost? I don't know who I am. I know my sister's great. I know she's wonderful. I mean, she deserves everything she gets. But do I? Well, I'm here to tell you today, you deserve it too. You are great too. You are everything that God has made you. And whatever conditioning has caused you not to believe in yourself, we want to break that today by talking about how you affirm yourself to understand who you are. You're amazing. The world is waiting for you to understand how amazing you are. Look, I promise you, if you just start making steps forward into the dream that you have, you will see how amazing you are. but you have to believe in you. Do you actually believe that you can do it? I do. I believe you can do it. I believe you're great. I believe the dream and the purpose that you have been put on this earth for is going to be completed, but you have to believe in it. And how do you get yourself to believe in the dream and the purpose that you dream that you have seen? That vision you've seen over and over again. You may have seen yourself graduated from college. How do I begin to get there and understand who I am? You know what I do? I sign up for college. You say, Lydia, that seems easy. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't seem easy because we have those things in our head that are repeating that we are not good enough and that we can't do it. But when I sign up for college and maybe I just take one class, and I'm telling you what I did because I just graduated, got my first degree. It was kind of awesome. But I took one class first, and I took the one class just to see if I could do it. It's like, okay, did good on that one. Maybe next semester, let me take two classes, right? Because this is how I'm starting to build up who I am. I'm building it up. And say you took the one class and you didn't do as well as you thought you would. Take it again. Let me tell you, transparent moment, as my first lady always says. Transparent moment. I had to take organic chemistry twice. And organic chemistry is a crazy class. But I was a science major. So I felt like you should be able to get this. And as I was going through organic chemistry, I had some people who had greater degrees than me. I was going for an associate's. They had master's degrees and they said, yeah, I feel organic too. So you begin to understand that it's not you. It may be the subject matter. So let's do it again because now that I have my feet in, I'm starting to feel how warm the water is. You know, that's what you do when you get ready to go swimming. Now I can go ahead and dive in because now I have this foundation that pushes me forward. I am beginning to fail forward. So I didn't make it today, but tomorrow, wait till you see me tomorrow. I am going to accomplish that which I started. This is how you begin to understand who you are. Because right then you just shown I am determined. I have a determination to make it. I am smart because I'm learning a lesson from what I just did. I am amazing. Why? Because I have the fortitude to do it again. How many times do we do things and just stop because it doesn't look the way we want it to look when we first start? When if we would just pick up and keep moving, we will make it through to the end. Who are you? That's the question. Who are you? Because when you begin to work on who you are, then you can go ahead and move forward. But then you can learn to give yourself some grace. Because knowing that I didn't intend to hurt anyone helps me to say, hey, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but tomorrow I'll do better. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. The next 10 minutes, I'm going to do better. Why? Because I know in my heart of hearts, that's not me. I know who I am. And so if something happened, I didn't mean for it to happen. And I can just apologize and move forward. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Begin to write down who you believe you are. Then write down the dream that comes out of who you are. What are you called to do? Are you called to help people? Are you called to sing? Be sure you're called to sing because some people feel like they're called to sing and they cannot sing. But be sure that singing is your calling. Are you called to play an instrument? Are you called to hold a conference? Are you called to women? Are you called to men? Is that what God made you to do? Is creation waiting for you to step into who you really are so that someone else can be blessed? Look, guys, it is important that we begin to know us because when we know us and we love us, then we can give ourselves grace. A lot of times we're willing to give other people grace. We can say, oh, I know that guy didn't mean it, but they said it, but they didn't mean that. But can you say that about you? Can you say, I really didn't mean that? And it's okay. It's going to be better tomorrow. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself space to grow. And growing takes stretching and sometimes it takes pain. But it's getting to know you. And getting to know you is most important. When you know you, when you start to understand you, then you can give yourself grace and you can genuinely give grace to others. Look, As usual, I want to invite you to the Life Happens conference that's coming up October the 25th. It's going to be held in Maryland at the Meeting House in Columbia. And we're talking about giving yourself grace. And part of giving yourself grace is knowing who you are. So I invite you to join us October the 25th at the Meeting House in Columbia. Go over to lifehappens1.com and register today. Look, you really don't want to miss this amazing conference. This conference is where spiritual leaders and mental health professionals come together to equip us with tools for going through our everyday life. How many times do you go somewhere and people talk to you, but you don't walk away with something you can remember? I promise you that when you come to Life Happens, your toolbox will be filled with equipment that you can use to get you through when life starts lifing. This year, we're talking about giving yourself grace. We're talking about getting to know who you are so that you can move forward to the vision, the goal, and the purpose you've been called for. Look, again, go over to lifehappens1.com. Do it today. Register today. Get in the room. And we have a virtual option. So get in the room and check out what happens when life start lifing. Let the professionals share with you how to get through. And if you don't remember anything else I've said today, please remember this. Know who you are. Love you like you, and you will be amazing because you already are. It will just help you to see it better. Change your glasses, clean them off so you can see you. Look, you have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and I'll see you next time.